Good morning. It is Saturday, September the 24th, 2022, and I am here solo in the northeastern corner of Mount Rainier National Park. I woke up really early, drove through the morning darkness to get here before the sun came up. I was literally running down the trail through the trees because all the elk are rutting right now. They're bugling, and that's my main goal of this hike, is to try and get some footage with my Nikon of all the elk action going on this time of the year. I'm currently about a mile in on the Palisades Lake Trail. I'm standing by Clover Lake right now, and this area just has a lot of nostalgia, has a special place in my heart here at Mount Rainier for several reasons. When I was a kid in the 5th grade, me and my family camped with a trailer at White River Campground, and this is one of the hikes we did, and a lot of the memories from that hike definitely instilled in my brain a love for wilderness and hiking and backpacking. Then in my late 20s, after college and after a lot of wrong paths in my life, I decided to change a lot of things, and I wanted to start backpacking again. And so this is the hike I chose to come back to. I came up here on a very, very late August day in a complete monsoon summer downpour with my garbage bag parka, and I hiked up in here, got completely soaked, loved every minute of it, couldn't wait to come back. So here I am today. It is officially the fall season. Friday was the first day of autumn. It was the equinox, and it's actually my favorite time to hike in this part of Mount Rainier. It's a section that doesn't get a lot of views of the mountain itself, which I like. To be honest, this hike is actually better in rain or low visibility or fog because the local topography is small but still in your face. Today we have crystal clear skies. It's definitely cold out, and it's not going to be raining at all for the next couple of days. It's still extremely dry for late September. The objective of today, besides getting footage of elk, is to head up to Upper Palisades Lake, and from there continue around the Palisades themselves into territory I've never seen before. I would like to go cross country north up to Burnt Park, Green Park, do some ridge walking up there, and then cut back into Green Park and come up over Hidden Lake and back down, rendezvous with Palisades Lake Trail, and back up to my car at Sunrise Point. Fall is almost my favorite time to go hiking. Changes in the air, all the bugs are gone, fall colors are starting to come out, and the animals are really active this time of the year. I'm really excited to be here. Here we go. there's the first good views of the Palisades. It is the east face of it. And it's a really good example of what I mean by the local topography on the Palisades Lake Trail is really small, but it's in your face and it's really rugged. It makes for a more intimate, personal experience in these mountains. I love the sub-ranges of Mount Rainier National Park. The Sourdough Mountains start at sunrise. They go along Yakima Park and then they swing north. And they pretty much head north until they peter out at the park boundary. From this point, it's not that far now to Upper Palisades Lake. I'm going to take a little bit of a break there and then proceed on the next leg of the trip. There it is, the first view of Upper Palisades Lake. It's the lowest I've ever seen it. It's right there. I'm going to go down and I'm going to skirt the side of it, and then once I get to the other side, that will be the boundary of what I know. And then the plan is to go up the scree and find a way to drop over the other side of that tree line and go around the north side of the Palisades. Once I leave that boundary of the lake, I'm stepping into my own personal unknown. Alright, well here I am on the banks of Upper Palisades Lake. It's one of many lakes in this chain. There's a lower one too, and then there's also Hidden Lake, and there's a couple more around the corner where I'm going to today. I'm really enjoying the fall colors right now. In the shadows, there's a little bite of frost and chill. And then in the sun, you have the instant contrast of warm energy. The colors of fall, definitely vibrant orange, reds, yellows, warm colors that give you a visual warmth that contrasts the feeling of chill. Fall is definitely my favorite season. There's so much to look forward to in the upcoming months. So I quickly made it past Upper Palisades Lake. It's pretty small, but a gem at the same time. And I've reached the scree and boulder field at the end of the lake. This is kind of a boundary for me. It represents my unknown. I've never been anywhere behind me where I'm off to. I'm gonna head up the scree field and reach that line of trees up there. There should be another scree field on the other side. I'm hoping I can just drop over and go down to another series of lakes and then make my way back up to the next ridge that I plan on walking out, seeing what I can see out there. This is all my own exploring now. I love going into places I've never been, especially in a park that I credit myself on doing quite a bit of hiking in. There's always room for something you haven't seen before. Here we go. Down there you can barely see Lower Palisades Lake. And then there's another one right down there. There's the base of the scree field I just crossed. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of loose and sketchy. Felt like it was gonna collapse at any moment with me in it. I'm hoping I can just go through these trees here and gain that ridge and then drop over the other side over there. Popped out of those trees, and then here's the second leg of the journey. Popped out onto this big boulder field right here. Getting views of the north side of the Palisades now. They should get more dramatic the more I hike away from them, but right now I'm right under them. It's pretty awesome. Got to be really careful crossing these big rocks. A lot of them are pretty loose. I need to aim for that little saddle right there. There's a lake up in there, and then once I get there I can head up to that open ridge that's over there on the horizon, and that's what I want to walk out onto. Don't know if I'll see any elk out there, but we'll try. Just came down out of those trees. I'm kind of in this shaded little gully. There's a lot of elk around me bugling right now. Getting excellent views of the north sides of the Palisades. Now I gotta head up in that direction there and then cut to the right. There should be a pretty good sized lake up there. That's where I'll take the next break. I also think that's where the elk are too. I keep hearing them up in that direction. Starting to find some animal remains. I spooked the herd. I stepped on a stick and it cracked, and I heard a bunch of them run off through the trees. Okay, I made it to this lake, unnamed. I think it's the local watering hole. I spooked a bunch of elk just up there in those trees. There's a couple bulls in those trees right there. This whole slope is crisscrossed with game trails. They're everywhere. I'm using them to ascend up this steep angle so I can gain the ridge. I'm sticking to the timber, but there's a giant meadow just off to my right. I just don't want to go out in the open right now. The ridge top should be right up there pretty shortly. All right, I have attained the ridge I was wanting to get on top of. I think I had a close call down there in the forest. I was at the lake, and I found another game path and I was following it, and then I started hearing bugling really close. I think it was two different elk, one below me and one off to the side, and then the one over here to my left just came crashing through the bushes, probably 20 to 30 meters right in front of me. The camera didn't get it because there was a lot. I saw antlers and like elk side for a split second, and then it went down, and I think they started fighting down there in the brush just in front of me. I heard antlers clattering and crashing together. Wow, you know, it's been a great trip so far for elk bugles and evidence, and just wild out here in this part of Mount Rainier. I'm going to head off in this direction now. It's getting really hot. It's definitely very dry out. There's not going to be any water up here. I'm going to try and get on top of those little peaks over there and see what I can see. Here we are. I'm around 6,500 feet, probably the high point and turnaround point of this day hike, and it's been extreme thus far. Upper Palisades Lake is right up in that gap right there. And all of this in front of me is the Lost Creek drainage. Very remote. There's a lot of elk in there. I've walked that ridge before a couple of times, and that's also a really outstanding day hike. There's Slide Mountain. Been up there a couple of times. I've always looked over at this ridge from there and wanted to come over here, and here I am. The fall colors are really popping over there on that hillside, and the park boundary is right over in there somewhere. And then here's just another beautiful orange but dry upland meadow along the north boundary. I have no idea what this peak is that I'm on top of. Kind of a pretty cool scramble. Looking off now towards the west. Now Burnt Park is coming into view. It's my first time ever looking at it. It's got a pretty nice lake down in there. It's like a cool spot to go cross country in. Outstanding view of Rainier off there in the distance. And I'm going to be heading back along this ridge here, but I'm not going to go the way I came. I'm going to drop down into Green Park, which is on the other side of that ridge, and then go up through that valley and drop down to Hidden Lake, which is on the other side of the Palisades right there, which aren't really lit up right now because we're looking at them from the north. Hopefully I can get back soon enough. It's getting really warm and hot up here. Oh, that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in Mount Rainier National Park. I came down off of that summit I was on. The very first cirque I came to, heard an elk bugling down there pretty close. I set up the camera and I was just filming him bugle, and then a cow poked her head out. And she came up the hill and she was doing her cow call, and she went up behind a grove of trees. I just sat there and waited a little bit longer, and then I saw antlers emerge from the timber, and then just this humongous bull came out and slowly walked up the hill. I think he sensed that I was there, but it didn't scare him. He just walked up over the top and crossed down into the timber on the other side. I can still hear him bugling back there. Next, I have to drop over 500 feet down through the timber into Green Park, and I think it's Josephine Lake is down there. I'll find that and then make my way up and over to Hidden Lake. Here we go. So I just dropped over 500 feet through the timber. I'm down here at Lake Josephine. It's pretty. There's a lot of fish jumping on it. And there's elk down in here too. There's a cow that's really close. I heard her right over there. I got water. I rehydrated. Took a new compass bearing. And I have about 1,000 feet of ascent from here up to my pass. Don't know how much distance but I gotta go up through that timber, and there's another meadow basin up there. And from there, I'll drop down to Hidden Lake, and then I can get back on the maintained trail. And from there, it's just back the way I came, all the way up to Sunrise Point. Let's see if we can run into any more elk over here. There's some bear footprints right there, mixed in with a lot of elk prints as well. I believe that is Martin's Peak dead ahead. There's a little tarn right there. And my pass is just up right there in that low spot. Alright, all I gotta do now is descend down to Hidden Lake. I can drink more water down there and access the maintained trail. Well, here we are at Hidden Lake. We're just about done with the trip. From this point, it's probably a little over a mile and a half back to the car, and I will not be doing much filming because I'm just going to drop down to the trail I used to access all of this amazingness today. September for sure is, or can be, one of the hottest and most driest months of the year, and today was no exception. I'm completely beat. Very weak right now. I don't know what's going on. I think it might be just a lot of sun, not enough water. My pace really slowed down from the time I left Green Park to where I got here. Coming up from Green Park, Lake Josephine was really tough, really slow, really exhausting. My legs are definitely done. An amazing day hike, beautiful fall colors, beautiful weather, one of the best wildlife hikes I've ever done, the best hike I've ever done with the most elk bugling pretty much right in my face on some instances. Fantastic. I'm glad I'm ending it here at this lake. I'm going to filter a bunch of it and drink it right now before I head down the hill and link up the Palisades Lake Trail. Here's a good view of Hidden Lake. It's definitely one of the prettier ones in Mount Rainier National Park. That's the gap I came down from. That meadowed saddle right there. It's very steep, very dirty, very dusty. You get up over here and you got more views of the Palisades. Only its western side is very mellow. Everywhere else it has these beautiful columns of rock, spires. That's why I keep coming back right there for sure. Now I'm just going to go around that corner to the foot of the lake and descend to the maintained trail. I've been on the maintained trail now for about a mile, and I'm making much faster time than I was going off trail, of course. And I'm making my way past Clover Lake for the second time today. It's about a mile now and I'll be at the car. And this fantastic hike will be memories. more up for the day, and then we're done.